So I've given up on Sonny and Sneako. It just seems like they're very deep into like the Arabization.
Well,
Um,
I'll say this. Have you noticed that they are more? Those two are more extreme than the average Muslim. Have
why
you
do you think
noticed
so?
that?
Why do you think they're more extreme?
Something clearly happened to them when they were young, and for Sunni, it's more of a father figure thing, where the Christian mysteries are not father figure enough for him because he wants a higher level of strictness, right? Remember, when you grow up without a father, the strictness has to be there, and Christianity does not have the strictness because it's evolved towards the freedom impulse. Like that's what the Christ force is freedom. That's why people, even Christians, go, I don't know what I'm really doing with my life. And Jesus Christ isn't going to come down and say, you have to, work with, you have to be a tax broker or whatever the fuck. He's not going to do that for you, right? It's a freedom impulse. Whereas Islam doesn't have the freedom impulse. So, there are lower levels of consciousness. It's going to be one of those things, right? It's going to be an insecurity thing for Sonny that freedom impulse is way too scary. And but by the way, you can become an alcoholic with the freedom impulse, where it's like when the Christ says all doors are open for you, go, like there's no way to living life. You just the way is the one that allows you to generate the best loving thought forms. So it's not like scripture will ever tell you what your career is or whatever, which is like the hard part for people. So that's where it gets confused. Sneeko, I said this many times when I first met Sneeko too, and he thought I'm joking. I think everyone knew I'm serious. Sneeko has something in him that is rotten. He has a soul defect where there's
I agree.
evil. There's evil in his heart. There's hatred in his heart, and that's why you can always see it because it's like a Ted Bundy thing that you want to show to people in a interesting way. Like for example, have you seen Sneeko talk about Indian people? Like as funny as he is as a comedian, when Zherka shits on Indian people, everyone's laughing. When Sneeko does it, you can tell he wants to butcher them with a knife. There's this hatred of the Indian person, and you can see in Sneeko's eyes, nothing happened towards him and Indians. He never got hacked by them. He never got stopped on the streets and attacked by them. But it's a superiority thing that he wants to be like, I can't say it to the white guy because technically in the hierarchy he's above in the social status, but I can be the white slave owner against the Indian because I'm technically at a higher. I'm in the West, so Sneeko like becomes the Nick Fuentes archetype around the Indian, which is crazy to me because it's like that means Sneeko actually believes in these color things, like there's a color hierarchy and all that, right? But it's not just that. You can see that in his career, he's beefed literally everyone, and I'm like, he doesn't even have a warlike disposition. He doesn't have that war thing. Sneeko doesn't have the war thing in him. Everyone likes to say that the war is in Sneeko until he gets checked. When Sneeko gets checked, he immediately goes back to being a bunny rabbit. So he doesn't have the war in him, but he has the torturer archetype in him. If it was a thing where he Sneeko doesn't take pleasure in war because if they hit back or if it's too much, he'll always like do something else or go regroup Muslims to help him. But he has this archetypal energy that he gets off on torturing souls. Like he has a power. It's a power vacuum where it's like he feels no matter how powerful he is, it's never enough. He always something happened. Like did you kill someone? Like what the fuck was that? But something happened to him where a kid kicked rocks in his face as a child, and instead of him getting over that or getting strong, he needs to kick rocks in other children's faces. And it's really weird because you can see Stinko always retreating to, hey, we should be friends again. Hey guys, we should be allies again. We should be this again. And we should do it. Hey, if we collab, we're cool. And it's like, dude, we cannot collab because your whole incarnation is to increase primitive Islam, not even the higher levels of consciousness of Islam, but the primitive side. And here's the crazy thing is his whole career, his whole money-making system is connected to that. That's like, is Zerka's channel connected to Christianity? Does Zerka make money off Christianity? Like, I make zero. I make money off Red Pill. I make money off other things that I talk about. I don't make, the Christian stuff is always the free stuff. It's not hidden behind a paywall. It's always on the Jack Neal podcast. It's always the stuff forward, but it's not linked to my money. His religion is linked to his money directly, which makes it so easy to corrupt him. Which also makes it so he can never take breaks either. And I don't think he's maybe type A personality that can take a break, but it's so dangerous how in 5 years you guys are all gonna say, "Oh, Myron's pretty cool, Zerka's pretty cool, Nick's pretty cool," but Sneako went off the deep end, and all of you are gonna be like, "How did he get radicalized that much?" And it's like you can see when humans don't learn their lessons, they're going further and further into the mud. Like, for example, Sneako avoided all the podcasts, the Islamic podcast channels that are chill, and he went right to Mohammed Hijab, to right to the extremes and the crazies and the ones that the outrage, the clickbait ones, right? You could say it's for clickbait, it's not. The soul loves extremes. Like think of Sneako's cocaine being Islam. He likes the bad stepped on cut up bags. He doesn't like the pure powder. He likes the cheap stuff you get on the street that's mixed with speed and meth and all that. He likes the shittier, lower level consciousness versions of Islam. And it suits him. Remember, he only joined the faith. I don't know if anyone realizes this. He only joined the faith so they can help him with a wife because he didn't like the dating scene in Miami or something. And that's what all these trips are about. And so it started off as a wife thing, and then he gave up on that, and now it's more like a war thing, and then it turned into like a Christian Islamic hybrid channel, and then it turned into Convert Zerka's fans, which I didn't even realize he's doing this until you guys brought me to consciousness with this, and I was like, I really didn't think a human could be all this sneaky. Like every move he makes is in his head it's for God. No, it's not. He's not even religious, bro. He All of this is a system to keep him guarded. And people are like, well, why can't you just be homies for the sake of being homies? And it's like, you will never convert one of my children and have me be cool with you. It's like if Myron was converting my fans on the low to join some temple, I would say, Myron, what the fuck are you doing? It's the dirtiest thing you could do because these fans are thinking, oh, I only went to Sneako because Zerka green lighted him, right? Zerka green lit him. Oh, Zerka stopped going on the Sneako shows. Oh, it's because Zerka doesn't want to green light him. And it's like, that's why he's angry. It's like, yeah, dude, if you understand how all this is tied, who would have thought that in less than 2 years, he's the most radical channel where he's saying some shit that's just fucking embarrassing, bro. Like there's blue pill and then there's green pill, which is the blue pill of the fucking Islamic world. He's You can tell it's embarrassing because if you notice, even Sneako supporters get on his ass. Like his own supporters who rock the same faith, they get on his ass when he's fucking up. And it's like, when you see higher levels of consciousness from Aiden Ross recently than Sneako, it's like it's a big problem. And I guarantee you in 2 years you're gonna see he's gonna be one of the most radical channels on earth, right? And all of that has to happen to pull the evil out of you. You have to kind of ride the wave of it, and it'll purge itself eventually. But man, what you're seeing is like what a week ago he called you guys satanic for being followers of the Christ,
Yeah, and he made that
and
tweet the
then
other day saying, "Oh, we need to be friends. We need to unite."
yeah, he said we gotta all be friends, and it's like, dude, you are not the friendship channel. Like
He,
you're not Myron, you're not Nick. Even Nick did a good job of gluing both sides, even though for 6 months I said this is like hopeless. This is a stupid strategy, and I was right. It was kind of crazy. It's crazy to think that.
yeah, it's just they can't pick a side where they're like, "Oh, you know what? We've got our main enemy, which is the Jews. Let's team up, us Christians and us Muslim. We've got our common enemy." When they say these other things like, because with Sneaker, for example, he shits on Christ all day long, right? Like, how do you have the audacity to come out with a tweet like that saying we need to unite? It's like, are you trying to be manipulative on purpose? Like, are you taking the piss? Like, what's going on there? And you know what's funny? In the Quran, chapter 5, verse 51, it says that don't take Christians and Jews as friends because they're friends of one another. It's like, dude, your own book condemns you for that, right? But I wanted to speak on Myron because I think Myron has potential, But what do you think Zherka is going to take
Yeah.
Myron to like come to Christ? I don't know what sort of conversations you had with Myron Gaines,
Yeah.
but what do you think it's going to take Myron to come to the truth, man? Like, what's your analysis on him?
Yeah. I've always maintained, no matter who I'm around, that you have to be an idiot to think that everyone goes to the Christ in this incarnation. It's retarded to think that. Myron will die a Muslim. That's like how he came in the game like that. He's going to leave like that, and that's extremely normal. Like you shouldn't even be worried about that. Same with like a native guy will die native. A Chinese guy is going to die. What Buddhist or maybe Shinto Buddhist or atheist or whatever. That's like totally normal, and throughout history, you can see this, that many souls have died the way they were born. And that's just totally fucking normal. It's total. If you understand anything I teach, you wouldn't even be worried about those people at all. Who you should be worried about is the people raised Christian, love Christianity, and still run away from it. Those people are in danger.
I think with Myron's lifestyle, like I was binge watching Fresh and Fit for so long, right, for like 2 years until you came onto the show, started talking about Christ, and then I was pulled to your content. But seeing Myron still doing after hours is like, bro, like this is like proper hustle from him. And I'm thinking like,
What do you
Myron,
mean by that?
like the fact that like it's still going on, like the after hours show. Like I thought that'd be dead by now, but it's still like popping off, and it's still like even bigger than what it was before. And I think with Christianity, right? Because like, do you know what repent means, Zerka? Like the Greek word,
Yeah, go ahead.
it means like to change one's mind. So with Myron, I feel like with him, while I think you're partially right with what you're saying, is that he needs to like literally change his lifestyle, meaning no more after hour shows, no more all the stuff that he does. Like you literally not gonna you don't change your outer, but you have to change your inner. Like Jesus says, you have to come to him with all your heart. So I think Myron has to literally transform for him to come to Christ. And I don't think he's ready for that. Like he's too deep in his ego and too deep in his identity of being this uh, podcaster, Miami guy who gives advice on women and stuff. Like it has to be a complete change of identity for him. So I think
Well,
that's
I think the opposite would happen. That if he did come to the Christ, his podcast would be even more liberal, more bitches, more because it's a freedom impulse of like, we're saved. It's one of those things. But if he went to his religion, it would be like more strict. I think he'd be like, But again, who would Myron be if he didn't have that show? He wouldn't be the Myron we all know. The whole point is that you play the cards you're dealt, and eventually you fade out the bullshit. That's why, you can really judge someone as they're getting much older, like for when their hair start graying. Like that's when you'll see someone's genuine interest shining. But usually in their 20s and their early 30s, it's like I don't know how much judging I would do. If, like, for example, I wouldn't judge Jordan Peterson when he was 35. It's like we don't see the total. Right now, he's a lot older. We see exactly what his soul is about, which is weird. He became fucking evil. Like, he totally became about, dead kids. And he was, I think Peterson was my favorite incarnation in 2015. Is like huge inspiration. It was like, it's like I felt like he's only speaking to me. He's like mentioning Jung and stuff that people don't know about, and I was like, "Wow, this is awesome." And then he just became this like, a dude all about like pleasing Netanyahu and stuff like that. And it's like it's a cool reminder that you can fall off from the top. Like Peterson was the highest level of consciousness we've seen, and then he fell off the top. He got bitter and angry, and it could happen even to me. That at the top I just say fuck these goat fuckers. It's easy for me to get bitter. It's easy for bro. If I could have a bad day and be worse than Hitler. I could literally. I get so angry when I see people justifying this whole like wrap up a woman and keep her at home all day. It's like, bro, first of all, you can only do that if their heart's in it, right? You can't force that shit.
100%. And yeah, I remember your first appearance on Fresh and Fit. I think one of the first things you said was like, you were born Muslim and you came to Christ. Like that for me, like me being a Muslim
Yeah,
back then, I was
yeah.
shocked, bro. I was like, what? because I felt like your energy was good. You know, like
Yeah.
um, like you were spitting a lot of game. But the fact that you came to Christ, I was like, what the hell? Like that's so weird. But for some reason, I kept watching you. I don't know why. And I think any other Muslim that would hear that, uh, a Muslim going to Christianity, they'll instantly turn you off, right? And I don't know what your opinion about this is. Like, why do you think some people who are Muslim would continue listening to you despite you saying like, F the Muslims,
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
Christianity, and
Or
other people will just switch you off, and others will continue to watch you. Like, why do you think people have that sort of like?
yeah. Yeah. I know what you're asking. It's almost like, well, why do people pay so much money to listen to my inner calls in dzerkofficial.com in our secret society? There's a lot of Muslims in there, and we try and squeeze them out, and they hide and stuff like that. And I know what the real reason is. It's not because they love me. It's not because of all the sweet, warm stuff. It's because their lives are genuinely better listening to me, better than when they listen to their parents, better than when they listen to their cousins, their uncles, better when they listen to their own God in their own scripture, better than when they listen to regular scripture from regular Christians. When a human's life tremendously benefits listening to one voice online, and usually it's that voice that kind of disappears. If you like, even Peterson would disappear on me. I'm like, where the fuck's this guy going all the time? He's so good. He should be giving us more content, and he'd take like long breaks and stuff. I don't know. He's like battling a drug addiction and shit. But yeah, if your life benefits, if Zerka tells you what's happening when you're dreaming, and you go to bed and start realizing, oh shit, he's not lying to me. He's kind of scaring me with how much truth he's bringing. When you start seeing it in your world, you're like, holy shit, that little one habit Zerka drilled in my head changed my whole life. It's impossible to drop Zerka. They make Zerka their god. And I don't mean like they pray to me, but everything I post, their notifications are on so they can get the latest update. They want to be the first one there. Now, for someone like you, it's like, yeah, I was targeting you. It sounds almost like methodical and evil, but I come from an atheist background with atheist parents and atheist family. But on the checkbox, if you say what country you're born in, you got to say, Kosovo, Albania, whatever, from that region. And what is that country's religion? That one that you're born with, you got to say, you're a Muslim. But were we ever Muslim in the sense of like actually being Muslim? No. Did I platform that as in, hey guys, I'm from a shittier place, like a much shittier place where people are really confused about where the God energy is on earth? I'm from that place. If I pop out into ego consciousness, you can too. So it's like a bat signal, right? And I knew that Muslims aren't going to turn me off. They're like, oh, he kind of reminds me of this guy, or he kind of looks like this and stuff like that. I knew it was like a signal of, hey guys, if you guys are ready to cross the road, you're going to go so much further in life. And I didn't take them to know, like for example, if I took them to regular Christianity, oh my God, would that be the most evil thing you could do? Because they not only do they ruin their relationships with their families for switching faiths, but it's not even the truth. Like, there's no modern Christian channel that tells the truth. They don't talk about the freedom impulse that the Christ brings. They talk about everything antithetical to freedom. They actually try and tell you that the Christ force is some kind of like fatherly force of like, no, it's about freedom, right? And then you choose. And if you don't teach this correctly, you're fucked. And you can't teach this correctly unless you do 1 year of red pill, crazy ass content, screaming at the top of your lungs. Why? So people go, oh, he lived his freedom. He lives his freedom. He's showing us that you can have, like, for example, sounds fucking crazy to say, but I can't even name one influencer who has had stronger karma than me. Women, money, looks, every fucking they say it's all of it to the point where I'm getting fat. Like, I don't know what to do with all this, you know? And it's like, it's so simple to see how this happens for someone like me. You just study Zerka at 5 to 10 years old. If you saw what my soul is like, you'd be like, oh, he's really gentle. He's for the Christian mysteries. He's actually a sweetheart. He doesn't lie. He doesn't. Oh shit, that it sticks onto me from previous energies, and that inner child that I have is my that like my my guiding star that when no matter how much I sin, I can always go back to, hey, young man inside of me, what do you want to do? And he always says, I want to go on a Twitter spaces and tell these people to be anti-war. And it's like, yes, you've got to be like a child to inherit the kingdom. You are my guiding star, where it's like you are the true Christian. Because as an adult, you can do a lot of sinful shit, but your inner child's usually going to be like, I want peace on earth. And that guy has to be involved, right? And for me, it's always been like, I don't want to be like Gary. Like Gary's such a conflicted, horrible karma soul. Like, yeah, I don't mean like I know what happened to him. It's just anytime he's talking, he's like always being cooked alive by his own thought forms. And Gary also is like stares off into windows a lot. I remember he used to stare. Gary reminded me of me on drugs. I don't not the weed like a drug, but he'd stare off into windows filled with regret. He's like, oh, I got a bit of money, but I was just so angry. I was always beefing people, and I'm like, bro, Gary, usually it takes drugs to beef that many people. You're not even on drugs. Like you're just a tormented soul. So Gary's just like someone who I feel like is such a child soul. He's like such a childish soul, and which is why he's entertaining. But yeah, I got to take him under my wing, man. The guy just I got to teach him shit because it's almost like what the fuck is Gary doing, bro? Like what the fuck? Let's bring him in. Charm hole first.
Or Zherka, are you still into numerology or
Oh yeah, bro, I love it, man. It's like, dude, I've been with an 11 recently. No, to
what
tell you
about
the
mine?
truth, bro,
I'm
it's
September.
a joke. It's a joke.
Oh,
Don't get ahead of yourself. Like I always say, I'll bring back numerology if I'm live, if it's on stream, if it's one of those, but never on
can you do my
Spaces.
one? Can you do my one?
Bro, are you kidding me? Like you're gonna burn in hell for this? No, no, we're not. And you know what's crazy is like I like the animal stuff. Like if you ask anyone, they'll be like, Zerka doesn't give a fuck about my numerology, but he does ask me what animal the animal one is cool to. I like asking, not that I believe it, but I like the animal shit. Like if I meet a chick who's an ox and she starts acting stubborn, I like having something to blame it on. Like, oh, it's because you're an ox. But no, I don't think I will ever promote that. Like that shit is hilarious to me. That like, what is it? Just Gary? It's just Gary. Everyone else under Gary is like ruining their lives with that shit. It's like Gary's the only one who, in his matrix, numerology is working, right? Because he's got a show with Fresh. It's got to be working if your business partner is Fresh, right? Always got to shit on Fresh because they shit on me on their show. So fuck them.
Are you cool with I don't know when you started to not be mates with Sneako. Like when did that
Oh,
happen?
it's when the Aiden Ross clip where he calls me a pedo and everyone defends me except Sneeko because he's sitting next to him. And I don't watch the clip. It's like muted. So I let 8 months go by until you guys send me the clip again, which is I commented on the clip, but usually I comment without even watching the clip because it's like I already know what these guys are gonna say. I want to go back to my day. I use Twitter like quickly. And that's my mistake. When I saw the clip like was it 4 months ago? I was like, and for the first 2 months, I didn't care. I was still on vacation mode. But man, it just cooked me. I was like, what the fuck kind of job interview could Aiden have for you that you don't stand up for me, you fucking cocksucker? And you've stood up for me before. It wouldn't even be inconsistent. It was like, but standing up for me doesn't matter if you do it on your channel. It's not a big deal. But if someone is blatantly calling you that, I don't know if he's a pedo, but he's saying shit like that, and I just see him sitting there, and in a weird way, when you're homies, it's like, yeah, my homie doesn't stand up for me, but at least he got the job. I have that thing where it's like, at least Sneeko made some money off that. He didn't even make money. He didn't even get the job interview or whatever he was trying to do. So it was like a double failure. Not only did he not defend me, but he didn't get the job he wanted with the Aiden thing. Aiden fucked him over, and he starts crying to me, and I forget about it. I still help the guy out, and then the clip resurfaces and my anger fucking explodes. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing defending this clown of a human being? And it's one of those clips where it's like, yeah, I could be cool with him in the future. Not that I want to, but he is so weak and so like in front of Aiden, he's so weak. Aiden is my mortal enemy. Like, what the fuck? He's so weak in that clip that I cannot wash it out of my head. You know, I can't wash the weakness out of my head. And then I forgot about the clip, to be honest. Like, I really forgave him and didn't give a fuck. But he started doing the Mandani thing with Islamic thing. And for me, nothing gets me more angry than Muslims pretending they believe in God. No Muslim actually believes in God. Like they're coping animals. They believe in their hierarchy. It's like a war religion. They're trying to implement their fucking Sharia deep down. They don't they you know what's funny is they're conscious enough for the war aspects of it, you know, and they can be so dangerous as people to be around. Like if you've ever seen Speaker's Corner, they turn into a group soul very quickly, unlike the whites, and it's just fucking embarrassing how if you've ever seen lower levels of consciousness group up together, you cannot feel bad for them. Well, you should feel bad for them because, you know, if you're a lower level of consciousness, chances are you're going to suffer a lot in you know, like you're not going to suffer towards evolution. You're going to suffer in a different way, which is sad. If you're like, if you tell a human, hey, you're suffering, but you're evolving, they go, okay, I'll keep going. But if you're suffering for other reasons, it's like, whoa, dude, like those people turn to animals, they'll kill you, they're fucked up in the head. And you got to be careful with that. And the cool Muslims you meet, you'll probably forget that they're Muslim. But the worst Muslims you'll meet, they'll keep reminding you. So when Sneako's channel turned into just reminding us, it's like, even if Cinco was like a Christian today, I wouldn't be cool with him because he's so weak. He could just snake. They're under the floorboards. Like he'll snake your whole friends and family, and it's just someone that weak is so easily corrupted. Especially like if the meme in your community is Zherka can be a reckless asshole. Okay, yeah, I'll hang out with Zherka. Myron can be this, and Nick can be that. Okay, yeah, they all have their own kind of contradictions and memes to them, but if the meme in your community is that you're a chameleon, like Sneeko, if the meme in your own community is that you don't have truth, you just follow the red pill way, follow this way. If the meme in your own community is that the creator is a chameleon, then that's a dangerous human being to be around. And, you know, like that's like my big regret is not that I have regrets, but I should have known. Been like, you know, they're gonna multiply, they're gonna outbreed, they're gonna be around all that. Like, we should have never done that. We should.
I think with yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
I think with Sneako, what you said about him having this rotten nature, I mean, it goes to show, I mean, how he um, treated you compared to Aiden. I mean, you did so much more for
Yeah,
Sneako
I
than
did too much, bro.
yeah.
I did way too much.
And then he turns his back on you. It's like, dude, like that run you guys did in 2023, bro. Like you can't top that collab that you and Sneaker had. And you probably taught him a lot of things about just everything in life, right? And you tried your absolute best to bring him to Christ, but he just, you know, wasn't going through his thick skull. And for him to just do that, I mean, yeah, I mean, yeah, you have every right to just like,
I mean, to tell you the truth, I didn't try to bring him to the Christ because I still have personality defects. One of my personality defects is if I know someone's like a weakling, like their mind can be changed. I don't want them on my team. I would much rather he comes to the Christ at 40, 50 years old. I genuinely, anytime I was alone with him, I would never preach to him. I just said God, the God of Earth evolution is the Christ, and that's all I ever said. I never repeated it. I never wanted him to join. I felt like he's like on shaky grounds with his soul. He doesn't know where the fuck he's going in life. And another thing, he doesn't want something that involves ego consciousness. He wants group consciousness. That's why he wants to be around the Muslims so much, and which is, you know, sad because how can your religion ever be sexy to someone if don't want to be alone? They want to be around sweaty Muslims, and that's probably like the biggest turnoff of Christianity is that it's towards ego consciousness. You know, solo player. It's not towards group player as much as people want to say it's group player. It's not, and that's why it gets, no matter how you slice it, it's always going to look like a lot more lonely of a energy than to be around some sweaty goat fuckers. That's the truth. But it's also kind of embarrassing to say, you're going backwards in consciousness, right? And it's not even going to fully fit. Like, I have a feeling the Muslims are going to turn on Sneako and expunge him. They're going to pitchfork him. And do I want Sneako on the Christian side? No, because he has a problem with like white people, and he no matter how much he says he doesn't see it that way, he associates that with the Christ force, and it's like that's not normal. Like Myron doesn't have a problem with white people. It's like that's a you thing, and psychologically speaking. This thing only has one flaw really, and that he has a lot of evil, like pure evil, where you can see it when he's talking about Indians. You can see it when he's talking about certain things he doesn't like, and like in a weird way, when Zerka insults Muslims, it's kind of like a group hug too. Like it's kind of like me helping them towards their evolution. But when Sneako does it, it's very different than when Nick does it or Myron. He does it when he goes after a group of people, he's doing it like in his head, he's fantasizing about turning the knife in their stomach. Um, and there's evil in Sneako's eyes too, in a weird, not all the time, but he has 1 hour of the day where he thinks he's Genghis Khan or something. He gets possessed by something, so you can see some dark circles under his eyes,
Did you,
some
Zherka, did you
darkness.
see my photo?
Mm.
You commented on one of my like my before and after, like when I was a Muslim, I had like those dark circles under my eyes, and then
Oh, that was you.
yeah, that's me. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah. You can tell, like it's definitely something spiritual. Like you can see it in the eyes, and Jesus says, the eyes are the windows of the soul, and if you've got darkness in you, it's going to show it in your eyes, and
Yeah.
you can see that in Sneako and like all these other Muslim guys. Like they've got this rage,
Yeah.
bloodthirsty. Like as much as like they appear righteous outwardly, but in the inside, there's like so much evil. Like they want to do this Sharia law stuff, take over the world, and subjugate Christians. Because that's what I think Islam is here in the first place. It's just to destroy Christianity.